Hello and welcome to episode 14. That's such a high number. I didn't even think about it until right now. Welcome to episode 14 of Star Wars Culture Live, a fairly new podcast focusing on Star Wars excitement and connection, your escape pod for hyperspace buzz and fandom fixes. Is it really a new podcast if we've been going for like 3 months?
Yeah, I'm not sure when the newness wears off.
Is it still new? It doesn't feel new. It still feels exciting. But anyway, I'm Ian. This is Marty. And this is where the fun begins, or has been going for 14 weeks. Instead of the negativity you often find on the Star Wars side of the internet, we want to talk about the things we love about Star Wars, how it enriches our lives, the community, the culture, the fans, the media, anything at all. So as always, throughout the show or after the show, if you're watching or listening to this afterward, if you have anything at all for us, reactions, questions, requests, suggestions for future segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments and we will see what we can do. And don't forget to check us out on all the socials. We are now SW Culture Live everywhere. Just at SW Culture Live, you will find us. And on audio podcast sources too, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave us reviews. We love that. That helps us. And as usual, we are going to start with quick fun facts about each host to help you get to know us a little bit better each episode. So, Marty, take it away. Fun fact. Let's go.
All right. So I'm a little bit of a self-taught graphic designer. So like I create all of our thumbnails. I create thumbnails for other podcasts such as Ion Cannon, Star Wars Underworld, Tractor Beam, all of that. But I bring this up because, one, I'm going to GalaxyCon Columbus next weekend. So December 7th, I'll be there. And I get to see Sam Witwer. That's one of my goals. Besides Hayden Christensen, the big man, he's going to be there. But I'm going to see Sam Witwer. And you know the game Days Gone, right?
I have heard of it. Is that kind of like one of those survival?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those zombie games.
Yeah.
Well, there's this cover where it's just like him in a white silhouette, and inside the white silhouette is like his motorcycle and the scenery behind him. I kind of took it upon myself to recreate that, but in the form of Darth Maul.
Oh, snap. With his freaking little speeder thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I hope to go see this. I hope to show this to him. I might print it out and just give it to him.
I was about to say, can you see if he can and bring like one of those silver Sharpies? Maybe he can like sign it. Maybe you could give him one and then sign. Maybe he can sign one
the other
for
one.
You. Yeah,
I might. I'll bring two. One for me, one for him. Unless the other ones on the table are just as good.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, might as well get one of those too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Interesting. I love it. My fun fact is way less interesting than that. My fun fact is that for the first year this year for Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's a Thanksgiving episode. I didn't even say that, but this is the Thanksgiving episode. In case you didn't notice the graphics down there that says Happy Thanksgiving, and Marty mocked up a little porg for us. Looks delicious. They're cute though. It's a real ethical, moral quandary in my mind because they're so cute, but that does look delicious. I'm just saying, what was I talking? Oh, for the first year this Thanksgiving, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone this. Chat. My wife and I are not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. We're not doing anything. We're not going to any. There was like, I don't know how it worked out this way. It's just like none of our families were like, we're doing Thanksgiving this year, and we're just like, wait a minute. Do we get to stay home? Do we get to just chill for just a second Like I'm off work for like 5 days and the kids are off school and we just get to freaking relax for a minute and watch some crappy football. That's that's our that's my Thanksgiving. That's my fun fact. Don't tell my family that I said that. Don't tell anyone. Tell no one. This is our secret. Star Wars. Yeah, no, that's so that's my fun fact. We're gonna eat we have some leftovers. We're gonna heat them up. It's gonna be great. So yeah, let's get into the news for this week. Nothing too crazy. It's just mostly, I think, hyped up to the Skeleton Crew coming out, and we did get a released schedule that shows which episodes come out when, and which ones are directed by who. So obviously, we knew Bryce Dallas Howard was in there, John Watts, Lee Isaac Chung, the Daniels, David Lowery. Yeah. I personally love how there's episodes coming out on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Like I'm gonna be chilling there doing, we're just chilling at home. It's like it can be like part of the family hang is that we're gonna watch freaking Space Goonies. So yeah, what do you think, Marty, about this this episode, this director lineup here?
I do like how they actually have the update where they changed it to where the first 2 episodes, instead of releasing on its Tuesday time slot, they are making it a day early for
what's
Monday.
Up with that?
I think from what I read, it's because there are select theaters that are premiering the first 2 episodes, none within my driving distance for some miles. So I won't be going to see it, unfortunately.
In a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. Didn't know that.
But yeah, these directors, I only know of Bryce Dallas Howard and John Watts really off the top of my head. Bryce has directed episodes of The Mandalorian, and I think she's done a Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I saw her name first at Boba Fett.
Yeah, and she's a really good director. If you go to her episodes on those shows, her episodes were really good. And as for John Watts,
do you remember which episodes of Mando she directed?
The number titles, no, but I could give you descriptions. One of them was that episode where Mando and Cara Dune were helping that town from the pirate gang.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and they have that the Raiders have that walker or whatever.
Yeah, and then another one I could think of. The other one I could think of is where Din and Bo-Katan and her gang were trying to hijack that cargo ship.
Oh yeah, the water plant. Yeah, on Trask, the light cruiser. Oh man, that was a good one. That was a great, yeah. I'm excited for episode 6. Then let's go. I'm excited for all of them.
And then John Watts, you'll recognize him mainly from nowadays the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy with Tom Holland.
Yep.
So you can expect episodes 1 and 8 to be good episodes. I feel like I've seen some of these other directors, but I can't really place them off the top of my head.
What a crazy role. Imagine if you were told, like, yeah, you're going to direct 2 episodes, the first one and the finale. That's your job.
I know.
You're gonna open it up, and then you're gonna see what everybody else does, and then you're gonna direct the last one of the. So like, no pressure.
I think what's really good is like, so I know some shows for the first episode of the pilot, it kind of is supposed to set the tone. So you would get a high-ranking director such as John Watts to kind of set the tone for the show, and then you kind of close it out the rest of the way. But obviously, as we've seen The Mandalorian progress, each episode kind of has its own style and its own little funny side of the universe.
Yeah, I'm watching it again recently, and the first season is really like dark and gritty, and it's very cool. And then it kind of it kind of alters a little bit and gets a little bit softer towards season 3 and a little bit like goofier and funnier, and like he'll still have his badass moments, but it does get a little bit the tone shifts a little bit to be, I don't want to say more Disney-fied, but I think that's what I have to admit that's what it is.
I will die on this hill, but I actually like the episode with Lizzo and Jack Black in it.
I just saw that today. That's the part I just there's everything there. There's everything there. Of course that cameo is cheesy as hell, but like it's Jack Black. What else are you gonna like? It's a planet that neither of them have heard of before. They still have like an investigative part. There's freaking Christopher Lloyd. There's more Ugnaughts. They bring that thing back from season 1. There's still like
battle droids.
Yeah,
Dooku's mentioning.
And there's a bar for droids. Like my mind was blown when that happened. And they were all like, "We want to help. We don't want to be like, we owe the organics so much. They like gave us existence, and their lives are so short." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is like a little deep here. Like, what are we doing?" And there's this whole investigation, and then there's the battle for the Darksaber, or well, not the Darksaber, but the battle for control of that little Mandalorian fleet at the end. It, like,
oh yeah, everyone seems to forget that part of it.
It's like 3 episodes worth of episode in one episode. It
is.
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna see who directed that one.
Yeah, right. I know. I hope it's Bryce Dallas Howard. That'd be funny. Anyway, another piece of news unrelated to Skeleton Crew. The launch, a new DLC for Star Wars Outlaws just released. Wild Card Story Pack. I don't know much about it. I don't have the game, but it's the first expansion plan for the game Star Wars Outlaws. I believe it's, I mean, obviously, oh, there it is. After being lured to do contract, she has no choice in the matter and finds herself on the casino cruiser where she meets Lando during the exclusive Sabacc game being held there. This is just the start of this adventure, as the trailer makes clear, with Vess and Calrissian heading to places unknown. So, little casino Sabacc themed DLC coming out for Star Wars Outlaws. I have been playing Sabacc endlessly whenever I have like a minute to play on my phone, and I just cannot get over how cool that game is. But yeah,
this one actually has. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I think I'm hearing you delayed, so by the time I stop to listen to you, it's like you're already stopping, so it's weird. No, I was just gonna say I hope to be able to play through this whole Outlaws game sometime. Like it's on the list with Jedi Survivor and all them.
Yeah. I still haven't gone through it all of Outlaws. I've actually taken a little bit of break from video gaming in general. What? But for this DLC, I've read and seen some gameplay of it. But you're talking about Sabacc. They actually have another slightly different ruled version of Sabacc in that game, I believe.
Oh, is it not the Kessel Sabacc that's on the app?
I think it's I don't think it's Kessel Sabacc. If it is, I think they actually have a rule modifier for this DLC.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I'm like, okay. So we'll just add that to the app in the future whenever they get around to it.
Yes. They also did add ranked to the app, the Kessel Sabacc app. I was telling Marty about this earlier, but I believe earlier today I was ranked 12th in the world on win percentage. So I'm gonna just ride that until more people start playing and I get shoved to the bottom of the list. Anyway, that's yeah, that's most of the news. I think the biggest thing is that Skeleton Crew comes out this week. This 5 days from now, and Marty and I are going to make sure that we watch it the day of, and we are going to talk about it that night. So if you don't like if you don't like spoilers, or if you don't, want to be if it takes you a second, like I know plenty of people aren't able to watch it right away, like work or kids or whatever. So we will definitely give spoiler alerts before we talk about the episodes, but that is going to be a big part of the podcast. So we'll give you fair warnings for when that's going to happen.
I will mention a couple of things before we move on.
Yeah.
First, another interesting thing. This is still kind of new. Two new things actually, and then a third thing later. But the first thing is Ahsoka season 2. Supposedly, this is rumored. Ahsoka season 2 is supposed to be the ending of the series, just because. I mean, that's a rumor. One, but two, they said it's just because they're not sure how season 2 might actually be, or I don't know what it was. I can't remember, but they said it's supposed to have like an ending to end it just in case. But really, I feel like they do that with every show because you never know.
Yeah. I don't like how indecisive that sounds. So that also makes me feel like Disney is not usually indecisive on things like that. At least not after they've already announced a release date, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. When is that release date compared to Mando and Grogu movie release date? Because Ahsoka season 2 is next year, right? 25?
I think so. Yeah, 25.
And then Mando Grogu movie is 26. So I think I always assumed Ahsoka season 2 would be the last one, and then that whole like Ahsoka, Mando, Book of Boba Fett, that would all culminate with the Mando Grogu movie, and then we'd move on to something else. I don't know.
Well, because there's actually another movie that John's supposed to be directing too. That's part of the Mandoverse. Like it's supposed to be like their version of Heir to the Empire, version.
Who's directing that? Sorry,
John Favreau. Because Mando and Grogu is direct. No. Sorry, flip it. I think John Favreau's doing Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dave Filoni is directing what everyone's quoting as Heir to the Empire.
Okay, that makes sense. John Favreau, Mando is his baby mostly, so I think that's that makes sense. He would be directing that. Yeah, I think I just assumed that would wrap up all those shows, I guess. But I guess if there's another movie with if they're calling it Heir to the Empire, I assume it centers around Thrawn.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. Another thing. Continue.
I don't know. I hope that's not the end of Ahsoka season 2. Like I don't know if they wrap it up well and it goes into the Mando Grogu movie. Cool, but I don't know. I like that storyline, and there's obviously if they're hinting to the Mortis gods, there's tons of legend and mystery to explore there. And with Thrawn, obviously, but if he's getting his own movie, then
I think the Mando and Grogu movie was literally just them reworking season 4 into a movie just because of how season 3 had done.
Okay.
I think.
Like season 3 kind of just didn't do as well, so they're going to wrap it all up and okay.
Yeah, and then that'll lead into the Heir to the Empire.
I will watch it for everyone else. I'll just have it on repeat. So just log those views.
Dennis Villeneuve. Yeah, Dennis Villeneuve, if that's how you pronounce his last name. I can't. The guy who's directed the Dune movies, highly successful Dune movies, kind of came out and said he was asked if he would ever direct Star Wars, and he says no, and went on to saying that it kind of went off rails because of Return of the Jedi. And he's like, I'm done with Star Wars. After
Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, so like according to the article, it mentioned that he quoted him saying they watched Return of the Jedi. They wanted to hop in a cab in LA to go talk to George and just yell at him just because of how Return of the Jedi was.
How, like,
and granted, he's 15 when this movie came out. So, but these movies are meant for
so he's still
younger.
like an angsty teenage. All right, okay. But you know what? It makes a lot of sense now. Because when you said it earlier, I thought you said that it was like after Return of the Jedi, it all went downhill. And I was like, first of all, no, that's fine. That's a bold claim. Like,
because that's a lot of people's favorite movie is Return of the Jedi, believe it or not.
Yeah, if you're gonna come at the originals, what? Like, I get it. The originals are goofy, like when you watch them now. But like, what are you gonna attack Return of the Jedi for?
He blamed it on the Ewoks.
Okay,
as everyone does when they complain about it.
Right. I mean, okay. If what you're saying is that there's no way a little village of Ewoks can beat an Imperial Legion, then yeah, I get it. I get that. I get it. But if you're saying that ruined the entire like legacy of Star Wars, then yeah, I don't want you directing a movie either. So, that's good. Why don't we cut off that relationship there and we can go our separate ways, because that sounds like you're not cut out for this. That's a bold you're gonna take shots at something that big. Like, that's okay, buddy. Bold move.
Last thing, and this goes back to what we were just talking about with Bryce Dallas Howard and the Skeleton Crew. She is the one that directed that episode, Guns for Hire, Chapter 22. Written by Jon Favreau.
Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Jon Favreau, like, my wife and I have this joke that, like, whenever we are watching a movie we like, it's like secretly directed by Jon Favreau. Like,
right?
Because I think he did one of the Iron Mans or two of the Iron Mans, right? In Marvel.
I think he did all three of them.
Right. And he also did Elf, the Christmas movie. And like we didn't know that. Like, we learned his name really. Like, I knew him from Marvel because he acted in the Iron Man movies too. If you don't know, he's Happy, the security guard. But he was in Couples Retreat, a movie that I love. I need to check because he might have directed that too. Very funny. But we were watching Elf like some Christmas when we had just watched like a bunch of Mando, and we're used to seeing Jon Favreau's name at the end of Mando, and we just watched Elf. We were like, oh yeah, Elf, like a nice Christmas movie. And then it was like directed by Jon Favreau. We were like, what the hell? What is this guy doing? How is this guy's name? Like, if you tell me, like, he has earned like 5 straight bullshit movies for me. Like, if you give me a movie, it's like, you should go see this movie, and then you tell it to me and it sounds like the stupidest thing in the world, and then you say, but it's directed by Jon Favreau, I'm gonna go see that movie. He has gained that cred with me, that he just, like, everything he touches is gold, and I defy anyone to convince me otherwise. Like, show me something that he's directed that I will not love, because I don't believe it's possible.
I feel like if he cameos in it, there's a 9 out of 10 chance he's actually directed it as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's one of the minor characters. Like, yeah, it's good. Anyway, love you, Jon Favreau. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna go see your movie. All right. Anyway, longest news segment ever. So moving on to our normal little fun segments here on this day in Star Wars history. Take it away, Marty.
All right. So this one's actually kind of interesting. I didn't really know much. I forgot all about this. But on this day in 2013, almost, well, actually, it's been 11 years. Lego Star Wars, The Yoda Chronicle, concludes with Attack of the Jedi.
Attack of the Jedi. I have questions about the title. I don't know what this is at all. Lego Star Wars: The Lego Chronicle. Is that a video game?
It's a mini series that I think that was like I think literally the first few things that Disney has done with Star Wars, really.
Oh, okay. It was soon
Because
after
20
the merger, so
maybe, or they were just working on it before merger, and Disney's like, okay, release this because 2013 is kind of a quick turnaround after being sold in 2012. But with it being
yeah,
Lego,
maybe
I
it was
guess they
just
still had plenty of time.
maybe it was just one of those projects that they were like, "Hey, we're working on this. You want us to keep it going?" And they were like, "Yeah." Or maybe it was just like written into the contract, like, "Hey, we're still going to do this."
I wish they
Um,
kept Star Wars Detours. That looked like it'd be a great show.
what was that?
It's it's more for like it's like an adult animated not really cartoon, but like 3D like CGI, not CGI, but I don't know. It's like an adult cartoon in a way. It's got adult
Okay.
jokes. Obi-Wan begging on the side outside for cash. A lot of crude humor. It was made
Oh,
by
okay.
literally. It was literally made by the team of Robot Chicken, I believe.
Okay. You should have led with that because yes, that I almost completely understand it now. Yeah, that I have always wanted some type of like R-rated Star Wars something. So, R-rated besides the Family Guy versions and the Robot Chicken, like some kind of official like, hey, we are releasing this movie about Darth Vader going on this Jedi killing spree. It is rated R. It is violent. It is dark. Don't take your kids to see this. Like, I just think that would be cool to have. Or like the other direction where it's just like so it shows like the underworld of Star Wars just so raunchy and crude and hilarious. Like either direction, I think there's a market for that. Just like there's a market for Deadpool in the MCU. Like you don't take your kids to see
Right.
Deadpool. Like you can take your kids to see the Avengers. Don't take your kids to see Deadpool. I think there's a market for that in the Star Wars universe as well.
Well, we also almost had Star Wars Underworld television series.
We
They did a
did.
concept. Yeah, they it was like on the concept, like they actually had a concept shot of like people in costume and ships flying around on Coruscant, no less, with stormtroopers walking around patrolling. There's small footage you can still find on YouTube, and it's pretty neat.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
there. But I think the budget didn't make the cut, and it happened to just be at the time George sold to Disney.
Okay. I think the market is there. Like the success of Deadpool and Wolverine is just what other proof do you need that something like that would sell? Just make it funny. Use a character that people know but don't like revere, you know? And like a character that people already think is funny. I don't know who, Lando or something, and like
Hondo.
Hondo, yes. Okay, he's not well. He popped into my head first, but I don't think he would. He's well known enough for like the main core audience. You know, that is a Clone Wars exclusive right there. And the people who enjoyed him first in Clone Wars are definitely of age to enjoy like an R-rated Hondo show now. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I want Hondo. Give me R-rated Hondo show. That would be.
Yes.
I want to see Hondo Onaka on Florum and all his adventures, like, and him wisecracking around all these other bounty hunters and all these idiots that he's played. I want that show so bad. Right. Whatever. Anyway, that's on this day in Star Wars history. The Lego series concluded. So we're gonna move on real quick here to my dad joke of the week, and that is, what do droids dance to? You're gonna hate this. algorithms. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
That one's
It's
actually
so
kind of funny.
good.
That's kind of.
It's I know, right? It's good. Little techie. Let's move on to our top 3 segment. I can't believe we haven't done this yet, but this is top 3 Star Wars creatures or animals, like non-sentient beings in the Star Wars universe. Before we get to our actual top 3, I have to give a shout out to this hero right here. Number 1, because he's adorable, and my toddler daughter loves porgs. Like, we got this little porg ornament for the tree just as decoration. We didn't even think she loved it. She didn't even know what it was, and we were like, "Oh, that's a porg." And then she picked out a porg in her little Star Wars pop-up book. And I have a stuffed porg in my car. I'm gonna bring in and see if she likes it. But also, this meme, the meme that came out of this exact image right here, just screaming, was pretty amazing. It kind of faded from memory now, but it was pretty freaking great. So that's the honorable mention, but let's move on to number 3, Marty.
All right, so I kind of went really out of the box thinking about this, but I was like, a quacking monkey lizard. You can't have any better companion than that, because who knows? I might want to, be a pirate one day, and this guy would help me steal things while I distract people. They're also kind of funny to listen to, laugh to, especially Salacious Crumb. Just listening to him in Jabba's palace going, just always cracked me up.
Yep. It's the perfect sidekick to like laugh at all your jokes, even if they're not funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jabba had one, Hondo had one. I mean, they got to be good for something if those two guys have them.
Yep, I trust him.
But really, the stealing things, like Hondo stole Anakin and Obi-Wan's lightsabers just as those two were talking to Hondo.
Yep. Yeah, it's like they look harmless, but then they're like sneaky, like secretly smart and helpful in those roguish scenarios. Yeah, no, I they're also just the puppet, the 70s 80s puppet that they started out as is just hilarious.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I noticed a weird detail in Mando. In season 1, when they're on Navarro, there's a market where there are some of these like in a cage, and then like some of them like on a spit roast, like that you can buy like fried or roasted Kowakian monkey lizards like to eat. And it was really dark watching that scene as like a grown up, knowing what you're looking at, because like the live ones in the cage are looking at like the roasted corpses of their friends. And I was sitting there like I missed a scene because I was thinking about how messed up that was. And then in season 3, they're like happy in a tree when Mando is walking through like the Renaissance of Navarro, like when they're like going legit. But they're like happy in trees and laughing at people. It's pretty great.
Yeah. That's what I liked about them going back to Navarro every season, because you see the progression based around everything, including the quacking monkey lizards.
Yeah, it also helps you like understand how much time is passing as these stories are going on too. Like, I'm always thinking like, oh, he did this, and then the next day he went over to Navarro. No, it was like weeks and months, and like time has passed in these stories, and I need to be reminded of that sometimes, because it's pretty artistic the way they do that. All right, that was your number 3. My number 3 is a mythosaur, which, if you are unfamiliar, this is the symbol of Mandalorians, and this image was actually recently released in the new Star Wars encyclopedia that just came out like a week or 2 ago. So the mythosaur was a legendary creature that lived on Mandalore. Apparently, Mandalorians used to ride it, or they used to have some type of relationship with this creature. It was like a symbol of their strength and their home world. Looks a little weird. I don't know what I expected. I think I expected it to be more like brontosaurus-ish. I didn't expect it to have such like a short neck, but that was my own thing. Like when you look like that, I guess you probably have claws and stuff. Like, so this is a little different than what I was picturing. But then again, I've only seen the skull, so like, what do I know?
I told you last week. I was like, man, when I told you that you could find a whole version, I'm like, man, you're gonna think it's weird.
Yep, I do. I definitely think it's weird. The skull compared to the rest of the body looks huge, right? Like that's a big head compared to the rest of that body.
I'm wondering if it's just looks like that because the head's turned and maybe there's more to it where you're just not seeing.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a weird angle in the neck. I don't know. I assume they would not give us a glimpse of that in the show and then not let it come back. Like it's got to come back. Please come back. Somebody needs to ride that mythosaur into battle, just like Boba Fett rode the Rancor. Anyway, that's my number 3. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be Bo-Katan or Grogu. Like Grogu's just gonna be like, "Oh no, the battle looks rough." Hey, and he's gonna go swimming and then just be like, and then Mythosaur's gonna come out.
Yeah.
If that happens, I said it. You heard it here first. That you heard it. I called it. If that happens, I called it. They're setting that up for real. They're going like first he was communing with the Rancor, and then he was like, oh, noticing the space whales, the Purgle, and he's talking to all kinds of creatures. The Mudhorn. Well, he just messed with the Mudhorn, but I'm just saying they're setting it up. He communicates with creatures. Yeah, that's my number 3. So on to Marty's number 2. Speaking of Mudhorns,
I want to say, speaking of Mudhorns, I kind of like these beasts. They're kind of cool. They kind of remind me of a rhino and a bear mix. Just looking at it, and you can definitely tell why they're called Mudhorn. Look at all that mud right there on the back.
Look at this, so furry, so much furrier than I remember.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like it's really furry, but I mean, I think it'd be a really good cuddle buddy, nice and warm in the winter kind of friend.
If there was a winter, yes,
right. If there was but this guy right here, kind of like with the Mythosaur, this guy is also a symbol for Din Djarin, for his clan of 2. The armorer gave him the skull version of it, since he and Grogu took this guy on.
I watched that semi recently, and I just wanted to know, like, does she have like an imprint of every creature in the known galaxy? Because she whipped that mold for Mudhorn. She whipped that out in like 2 seconds. She was like, "Oh, tell me about the Mudhorn," and then during that same conversation, she's like, "Oh, okay, that's your clan signet, and we're like hammering it into this thing right now." And I'm like, "What? Why do you just have that? It is not even a guarantee that you knew what a Mudhorn is, or like have heard of these like really obscure creatures that live in caves. Like, why do you just have that?"
It was probably a mixture of listening to Din tell the story, because we only see 2 seconds of everything. But I bet after the story, she's like, "Okay, come back in a little bit. I'll have it ready for you." As soon as he leaves, she gets on Space Google, types in Mudhorn, sees a silhouette, and like, "That's mine. I'm gonna make this."
Oh yeah, all right. The skull of that would probably look like this. It's just a big old horn. All right, here we go. That's pretty funny. Yeah, good choice. Epic creature, epic scene, and I think that was the first time we saw Grogu use the Force, right?
Yes.
Like we weren't sure. It was like, is this just a baby, or is this like a Yoda baby, a baby Yoda that can use the Force?
Right.
And then he did that, and we did not have any doubts anymore. All right, so my number 2, going all the way back to the prequels, is this beast of an Acklay. And the sound effects with this thing is almost entirely why I chose it. Like I can still hear the sound of this Acklay scream, like just I can just imagine it right now so clearly. I love I like all three creatures in this arena scene. Honestly, the rhino thing, I believe it's called a reek, and then the Nexu cat thing, like they were all really cool. It was really good CGI for the time. Honestly, like I thought I have no criticisms there. That was really well done. And the way it was stabbing with its spidery pincers, or it's like it looked super dangerous, and it was extra scary on there was a level in Star Wars Battlefront 2 that came out, what was that, 2005, where in the campaign you would be on Felucia, and what part of the mission was to shoot these things, and they were like they made it super scary. They were coming out of the woods like those giant flowers and ferns on Felucia, and then they were like, you had to shoot them, and like they had all this health, and like you could kill them, but it was not easy. Like if you were just standing there shooting, they were going to come up on you. Oh my God, why am I burping? They were going to come up on you, and then they were going to just wreck you. Like you may have to like dive out of the way and like take another, like, or shoot like from far away, or you had to plan around them because they were freaking terrifying. You shoot them and then just like right at you, like
they came fast.
Yep,
man,
terrifying.
You're bringing up some scarring memories here.
Yeah, traumatic memory, right? Like it was horrifying. I'd get to that level and I'd be like excited, but also like terrified. But you see in the arena scene that they also like he like Obi-Wan throws the spear into his back, and he just like takes it out and snaps it with his teeth, and Obi-Wan's like, okay. Look at these.
I never realized it had 3 eyes.
Look at these biceps. Is that an eye?
Yeah.
3 eyes? I just thought
I
it was
think
a nose.
so.
Oh,
I thought so too. That just makes it scarier.
I hate it. I love it even more now. Oh my God. Look at these biceps. Look at that. Whatever.
The detail of the fur, the hair on the legs too.
Oh. Wow.
I never realized how detailed this was.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is just a screenshot from the movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Number 2 was, that was you, and this is number 2 for me. All right, moving on to your number 1, the Krayt Dragon.
Yes, I couldn't decide between this or the Mythosaur, so I'm glad you took the Mythosaur so I could have the Krayt Dragon. Because this thing is a beast. Like, it took literally a whole tribe, like a tribe of Tusken Raiders and a village of people to bring this thing down. It's like a sand shark meets. It's like Tremors, but bigger and more
mega
capacity.
Tremors.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is just freaky. I don't even know if there's like a canon version, like a whole version of what this thing looks like in canon.
When I was looking up images, there were a lot of legs, and I was not under the impression that this thing had legs.
I knew it had legs, I believe, but then again, you look at the skeleton in A New Hope, it didn't have any legs in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could have been buried. Like, the legs could have been buried. The leg bones could have been buried in the dunes. But this thing, I mean, all I saw was like the head of a snake. That's all. I don't think I saw any. Right. I don't know.
But man, this guy.
Watch it again.
This guy's big, bad, and it took literally a lot of people to destroy this thing, and with some knowledge of explosives.
Yeah, and that was only because Mando literally took the explosives like inside.
Yeah, like because the exterior wasn't doing anything.
Nope, like they blew up his belly, and he just didn't care. He just like swam up the rock and like came out. Like, what? Yeah, crazy strong. huge beast. I remember that really funny scene where the first one where he ate the Tusken, like the Tusken took the bantha out there,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, the bantha is the bait. I'm running away now." And the thing comes out and ignores the bantha and eats the Tusken.
Yeah.
I remember very clearly my wife predicted that. She was watching, we were watching together, and she was like, as soon as the stand started moving and you saw the shot of the Tusken running away and the bantha's still there, she was like, "Oh, he's gonna eat the guy." I was like, "What?" And then he did, and I was like, "Oh my god, so messed up."
And I was surprised at how kind of graphic it was just to watch him melt these Tusken Raiders. Like, I was not expecting that. I was really expecting acid in general, but when it happened, I was like,
Nope.
"Oh wow."
And like that's not really how acid works, I don't think. So that's powerful freaking acid to just like disintegrate people at the drop of a hat. Yeah, I found a nice little comic version too of Mando flying out of there. I guess concept art or something. He's got a lot of extra horns like right around here.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Got
Up him through the sand.
crazy teeth too. Yeah, so Crate Dragon, good choice. Powerful. My last one has to be the Zillow Beast. Going back to prequel era again. And Bad Batch era, I guess. Spoilers. The Zillow Beast, I just loved this. I think we talked about this on one of the first episodes when we were talking about our favorite Clone Wars arcs. I loved the Zillow Beast episodes so much because it's like a whole Godzilla movie just within a little Star Wars setting. Like the Beast is awakened on Malastare when they're messing with the fuel, and it escapes and they subdue it, and then, like, idiot protagonists always do, they take it to a city center to study it. And of course it gets loose. It's exactly like Jurassic Park and the Lost World, where they bring the dinosaurs to freaking San Francisco or whatever. And the T-Rex gets loose and is just walking around the suburbs eating dogs. And the Zillow Beast gets loose, and like, but you also see signs of intelligence when it's like staring at the Chancellor, and he's like, "You're evil, and I know you're evil. I'm staring at you. I'm trying to get you." And everybody's like, "Oh, protect the Chancellor." And it's blasters don't work on it. It's so flexible, and like its limbs make no sense. It has like an extra arm coming out of its back. It's the weight distribution is crazy. It's like I like force sensitive kind of force resistant maybe, and you have to use special like fuel from the planet. It's like its own kryptonite. But I just thought this is like, and when they brought it back for Bad Batch, I was like, it was just so cool. Like the cloning and everything, like the implications for the future. Totally makes sense that the Palpatine and the Empire would be obsessed with that creature, like that could resist. Like, imagine if you could take that armor and make ships out of it, like to just straight up resist blaster fire. Yeah, that's number one for me. I will never not want to watch that little episode arc of Clone Wars. It's just so fun.
I'll agree to that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so that's top 3 Star Wars creatures. Let's move on to, I guess, the main event of the episode, which is Skeleton Crew Star Wars Theory. Just for the fun of it, I'm just going to throw this up again. We got December 2nd. They moved it up to Monday, which is awesome, at least for me, because I get an extra day or two to watch 2 episodes, maybe watch them twice before talking about the podcast.
Yeah.
So why don't we go through, like, what do we know first? What do we know about the plot of Skeleton Crew?
All I know is that the plot revolves around 4 kids going on in this crazy adventure, running into a force sensitive man to run away from pirates because of some treasure. That's kind of like literally the broad stroke of what the plot is, from what I've gathered. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm getting Stranger Things plus Goonies plus Indiana Jones a little.
Yeah, that shot in the trailer where it shows that big skull with some treasure. I could get some.
Yeah, the treasure room or whatever they find themselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the kids, and they find like an abandoned Jedi temple or something in the woods of their own planet. And somehow they end up on a ship. Somehow that ship goes into hyperspace, and they find themselves somewhere else. I did when I was watching closely. I watched the trailers again today. I watched closely. I did want to point out. Oh God, I bumped the mic. I did want to point out or take note of two things. Number one, you never actually see Jude Law using the Force. You see the keys moving, and then you see someone saying the line, "You're a Jedi," and then you see Jude Law taking his hood off. So it could be a misdirect. I don't know. I don't know how often people do that. And then
there's
number
that one
two,
scene in Obi-Wan.
Which one?
In Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was trying to find another Jedi. He thought he had found one. It turned out it was just a parlor trick to scam people.
Yep, the guy from Eternals. Yeah, I like that scene. That was funny. That guy was funny. Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to point out was that the droid, the menacing droid that you see in the images. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here, hold on. I'll just get rid of that. You don't need to see me search. That crazy menacing droid that they showed in all the trailers. Where's the photos? I know they put the photos up. Gimme. There's so many photos. That's not what I. Okay.
If you go to like their official website on StarWars.com, there should be one right there in their gallery.
I'm just scrolling down there. November 20th. Oh my God, they post so much. I just thought this was gonna be a cakewalk. Yeah. So that droid that they show that looks all horrendously horrifying. I feel like they show him in some scenes where he's not scary. He's just like with them. He's like behind them. Am I messing? Here he is. Jeez.
There he is.
Took freaking forever. I feel like they show him in some scenes with like he's just with them and not bad. He's just like standing behind them like he's on their side.
Yeah. I think he's supposed to be.
Okay. So he's not like a big bad villain here. He's just like there. Maybe they find him and it's a little terrifying at first, but they like release him from his weird plants that are strangling his circuits, and I don't know. So he's not like inherently a bad guy.
I don't think so. I think someone had come up with this idea, and I kind of believe it as well. They said he was probably in that ship that the kids find in that Jedi temple on their planet. So he's probably guarding it, and people just forgot about him.
Okay.
But he's supposed to be one of the good guys.
It does look like he's surrounded by like ship parts there. Like, I don't know. Those look like they're pipes, or this is clearly like a circular structure here. Okay. But yeah, though, the other thing I mainly noticed was that it was very specific that they cut from the keys moving to Jude Law. They did not show Jude Law going like this.
That's true.
It's just like, who is the Jedi here? Like, it could be one of those things where there's like a Jedi that we're not seeing yet, or there's a cameo, just like, you know how they hid Grogu, like we didn't know about Grogu or Baby Yoda until we saw it, and that they hid all the things. So like maybe there's some character that's just a complete mystery to us, like we don't know yet.
Ooh, that's maybe they like to do that, don't they?
I know they do. Like, there's no connection so far to much other than Zane. There's not really a connection to much within the Star Wars universe. So, like within the other stories that we know. So,
Yeah.
But
I feel like this whole show is about deception. You're talking about how we didn't actually see him use the Force. I feel like this whole show is like, who can you trust? Are we supposed to trust Jude Law just because he's in the promotions more?
And because he's Jude Law.
Because he's Jude Law. But they remember when they in the trailer they went to like this space Bucky's, I'm gonna call it. I don't know, like what you would call a space station.
I almost spit on my beer, dude. Space Bucky's. I'm gonna be watching this show and I'm gonna be like, they're at Space Bucky's. Oh my god! If you got viewers, if you don't know what Bucky's is, it's like a gas station on steroids, and it's only down in like Texas and the surrounding states. It is. Let me be very clear.
I got one up a few miles from me.
Oh my god! You need to be on your game if you're gonna go into Bucky's, especially if it's like on a weekend or something where there's a lot of cars going through there. It's like, it is massive. There's so many pumps, and the lines, like, it seems like you should know where to like go to get gas and like get in line. But no, that's not how the lines don't make any sense. People are just being crazy. And then you go inside and you're like, the gas station can't be that busy. This is huge. No, it's that busy. There's at least 7 tour groups going through there. At any given moment, there's special like meats being smoked for some reason. There's like different types of nuts that you can buy. There's 1,000 walls of drinks. It's a lot. You know what? I have a photo of my baby experiencing Bucky's for the first time. I will see if I can pull that up. Anyway, Space Bucky's. Go on.
So they're at the Space Bucky's. They're stopping to get a bite to eat, and the guy's like, "Pay up." The guy that made the food. Turns out he's also kind of a bad guy trying to get after him. You can't even trust a guy that make your food.
Yep, he has to flip that thing into the food, right? He has to like flip the pan that like the fire goes up.
Yeah, the kids would cause a distraction with that and run away. I'm like, okay, so you can't even trust a guy to make your food. Everyone's out to get these guys. But, I mean, it's because they have old Republic credits, not the Republic that we're used to from the prequels and all that, but old Republic. So to find that kind of treasure, I'm sure gonna make people turn on you.
I found it.
Nice.
This is me, and this is my baby daughter. What day was it? July? She's about 6 months old, experiencing Bucky's for the first time, and she is that face, I think, represents all of us on our first trip to Bucky's. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's that it, like, they're launched from their home planet into like this, terrifying space transit station, like where pirates hang out, and Republic credit, like old Republic credits, like pre-Empire Republic credits. So I assume having money like that must be like a huge red flag to people.
And to be honest, I'm more curious about their planet itself and why it's so like unknown to the whole galaxy compared to this whole adventure they're about to go on. Like, what is so like what is up with that planet? Why does like nobody know that this planet even exists?
I don't know that that's the case. I feel like the Republic credits happened because they accidentally stumbled upon an old Jedi temple or something, and an old ship that was like from Republic, like pre-Empire era, like Clone Wars era. But I feel like the planet itself might be well known. Like they clearly have a good like economic system. They have like suburbs with people walking space dogs, and people having like front lawns, and so I feel like trade and everything, like it seems pretty economically sound. They have like a public school system, but I think
I think in the summary though it mentioned like kids from a planet that no one heard of before.
Oh dang! Well, maybe I should read the summary for the show. Hold on. Skeleton Crew. Let me just Google Skeleton Crew. The summary of the show on what? Like, oh, that took me to YouTube. What, Wikipedia? Oh, well, my license.
I can't even find it anymore.
Coming of age story about. Oh my god, where'd it go? Premise. 4 children end up on an adventure to make their way home after being lost in the galaxy following a discovery they make on their home planet. That's on Wikipedia.
I saw it somewhere. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. Yeah, the planet seems really well off to be a mystery to the universe. Like I imagine they would have trade and things. But yeah, I don't know. You could be right. Speaking of, you could be right. I think it's that time. I think it's that time to switch to Star Wars trivia, where I could be wrong.
I think it's that time. But if anyone's got any, suggestions out there, please share them with us. We'd like to know what.
If you have any ideas about theories for Star Wars, for Skeleton Crew, I want to know them. Like, imagine if we're right and the predictions that we make now are the first that people hear about the predictions, and then we'll be famous for however many seconds.
Forgetting these, yeah.
Yep. But now we're going to move on to Star Wars trivia. So if you are playing along, sorry,
lagging a little bit.
Yep, I hear it. But if you're going to play along in the comments, feel free to type your answers in the comments. Just use the honor system. If you get it right, try and get it right without looking at the other comments. But obviously, we encourage comments, engagement, whatever. But we'll throw up 5 questions, and you can throw your answers in the comments, and then we'll throw up all 5 answers at the end, and we will see how good we do. I didn't get all 5 last time. I feel like 2 weeks ago, maybe I got all 5.
Yeah, I think so. Last week you missed the Legends question.
Yep, that's usually how it goes. Yep. All right, hit me. You're a little laggy, so we'll see how this goes.
All right, this will be fun.
This is fine. Just go fast through the questions, and then it will seem normal pace to us.
Probably.
Ooh.
All right. Question
what? Already?
1. The clone trooper who injured his leg on a
Oh my god, he like glitched out. He glitched out entirely. This is awkward. Marty! Oh no! Oh my god, he glitched out entirely. Hello, my name is Ian, and I am the sole host of this podcast for the next 30 seconds. All All right. So while we try and get him back, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what the answer to that question was. Don't tell Marty. But I don't think it's Rex, and I don't think it's the other well-known clone. I don't think it's Echo. I think it's either Thorn or Thyre or whatever the other things were. I'm going to give him about 30 seconds to get back here, and then I will stop wasting your time with my stupid face. Device is not. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Hello?
Hello. Welcome back.
That was so weird.
You should have heard the expert riffing I was doing while you were gone.
Oh, were you riffing?
Oh, I was riffing.
All right, let's get this question back up. All right. Do I need to go through it again for anybody?
Nah, I think you can skip to question 2.
All right, before I lag out again.
Yep.
All right, question 2. Garza Fwip is the owner of this Mos Espa Cantina. Is it A, Sanctuary, B, Chalmund's Cantina, C, Outlander Club, or D, Oga's Cantina?
This one I know. I think I know from Book of Boba Fett. Yes, I do know. Good. Good.
Question 3. Who is Yord Fandar's Padawan? Is it A, Lily Tora Asi, B, Marin Worum, C, Felon Canrick, or D, Tassi Loa?
I have no idea. I'm going to watch the Acolyte again.
It's kind of hard. You kind of forget that he had a Padawan.
I really do. Watching him, I don't know if he was ready for a Padawan, if I'm being honest.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he was ready for one either.
Nope.
R.I.P., man. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Question 4. What is the Master Codebreaker's identity marker? Was it A, a ring, B, a brooch, C, a necklace, or D, his outfit?
I know this one. I'm feeling solid about 2. Feeling okay about 3 of 4 so far. Although, I thought it was funny. How do you know that? Oh, interesting. I like this question. I also know the answer to this question. What if he wasn't all right, you know what? I'll say it after. I don't want to spoil it.
All right. Question 5, our Legends question. Who was Qui-Gon's second Padawan? Was it A, Femor, B, Obi-Wan Kenobi, C, Xanatos, Toss, or D, Bruck Chun?
Star Wars Jedi Apprentice novels. I love those. I love them so good.
Man, I think I've only the first 2 back in elementary school.
Man, dude, they're so good. When you get through that,
I remember that
6, 7, 8 series, it just gets so. For instance, did you know that Obi-Wan Kenobi left the Jedi Order?
I think I did.
Yep, he left. He came back, but he left. Yeah, the question 4 about what he was wearing. I'm just gonna say the answer. I know he was wearing a brooch, but how did Maz know that he would be wearing the brooch that night? What if he just decided not to wear the brooch as part of his outfit that night? You know?
Maybe it was another communication on later, where it's like, "Hey, Master Codebreaker, I have 2 people coming by. You might want to wear that brooch of yours."
Yeah. Or maybe that's his thing. Maybe that's his he always wears it so that people know who he is or something. I don't know.
Maybe that could
All right,
be it.
show me them answers. Show me that 4 out of 5 that I just got.
All right. Answers are: 1 was C, Thyre. 2 was A, Sanctuary. 3 was D, Tassiloa. 4 was B, a brooch, and 5 was C, Sanitas.
Hold on. He had Xanatos before Obi-Wan. So who did he have before Xanatos?
He had Femur. Or Femur.
Who is Femur?
He was Qui-Gon's first apprentice.
Femur Butts?
No, they never gave any last names to these two guys.
Right? No, I read about Xanatos. I didn't see any hold on. Qui-Gon.
He only appeared in like
one I'm just gonna Google it right here. I'm gonna Google it right here. Femur Star Wars. Yo. Okay, well, that's not. It's not even on. He's not even. There's not even a Wikipedia article about him.
There's a.
Oh, I lied. There it is. There it is. There it is. I found it. All right. Femur. Yeah, I couldn't be more proud. You are much faster than I miss this, Master Qui-Gon. All right, fine. First Padawan to Jedi Knight Qui-Gon Jinn. Successfully trained to knighthood by Jinn, who was in turn granted the title of Jedi Master. Jinn later took a young boy named Xanatos as his second student. Oh, Jinn did. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, but what did he after he became a Jedi Knight? Missed his training. Femur was visibly hurt when Xanatos admitted that he had used Femur, saying the latter had been destined to lose the training for it. Oh, dang. Rude. Femur was unable to defeat his former master in battle, as Qui-Gon Jinn easily repulsed him with the Force several times. Grandmaster Yoda seems like behind the scenes. Dang. Yeah, appearances. Jedi, the Dark Side 1. Indirect mention only. Yeah, he really does not appear in much other than just this comic.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. All right. I learned something today. So it's Femur, then it's Xanatos, and then it's Obi-Wan. All right. Cool. I like shows where I learn stuff. Gonna have to.
But anyway,
novels again though.
Yeah. How many did everybody get right? Let us know in the comments. Let us know wherever. I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm at 3 now. 3 out of 5. My God.
3 out of 5.
Yeah. Let us know. And let us know what you think of the show. Again, if you want to review us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever, that is always appreciated and lets us grow the show. Speaking of the show, we hope that you have enjoyed what we're doing here in general. We know Star Wars fandom and comment sections can sometimes get kind of dark and kind of toxic, but remember, it does not have to be that way. There are more of us. We're trying to bring fun and positivity to the Star Wars side of the internet. And again, if you have anything for us, questions, requests, suggestions for segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments and we will see what we can do. As always, we are SW Culture Live everywhere. Like we just did a rebrand of all the ats and the tags and the titles. So at SW Culture Live, you will find us on every platform. And we also have our own personal things too. So he is Marty21794. Mostly Instagram and TikTok.
Great Yoda impression. I haven't been on there a whole lot.
Say it again.
So I haven't really done TikTok in a little while. I might try to get it up again.
Yes.
It's been a couple weeks. I don't know. After the last one didn't hit enough views, I was like, maybe.
Yeah, TikTok's a strange beast, dude.
I might throw them up on Instagram too.
Yeah, why not? Just get those hashtags going. You'll get something. Yeah, you have to like just yeah, it takes forever. And I am at Nerdiest Stepdad everywhere. I just joined Blue Sky for some reason. I've got like 6 followers on there, so why not? Yeah, that's us. That's our show, and we hope that you've enjoyed it. And join us again next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, for to celebrate the best of Star Wars culture. Have a good night.